The invitation looked simple on the outside, just a cream envelope tucked into the stack of bills on Malik's kitchen counter. Inside, the message was short. His old classmates wanted him at the 10-year school reunion. No note. No warmth. Just a time and place. He read it twice before setting it down. His son, Adam, sat on the floor nearby, steering toy cars in wide loops as if nothing in the world could ever go wrong. Malik watched him for a moment and breathed through the weight that always pressed against his chest. He had built a quiet life for the two of them. Early mornings. Long shifts. A rented house that needed repairs he never had time for. Love that filled every crack. The reunion was an echo from a world he had left behind. In school, he had been the kid who kept his head down, the one people remembered only when they wanted someone to laugh at. He had never expected kindness from those classmates. Not then. Not now. He pushed the envelope aside. But later that night, while Adam slept, Malik found himself staring at it again. Something inside him shifted. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was a desire to stop letting old memories grip him. Or maybe it was because of the woman who had stepped into his life 3 months earlier. He had met her in the most unexpected way. Her name was Lyanna. She was soft-spoken but carried herself with a quiet strength that always drew attention. On the day they met, Adam had wandered too close to the street outside the market, and she had grabbed his hand before he stumbled into traffic. She had knelt beside him, checking him over with genuine concern, while Malik apologized again and again. She had only smiled and said, "He is safe." That is what matters. From that moment, she seemed to appear everywhere he went. At first he thought it was coincidence, but every time she saw him, she asked about Adam, and her interest never felt forced. She did not pity him. She did not look at him as if he was a broken man trying to piece together a life he never planned for. She spoke to him as if she saw something he had forgotten about himself. One evening, when Malik mentioned the reunion in passing, she steadied him with thoughtful eyes. "You should go," she said. "Not for them. For yourself." She said it with such calm certainty that he found himself agreeing. He did not expect her to be involved in anything beyond that. But on the morning of the reunion, after dropping Adam with his aunt, he stepped outside to find a helicopter resting on the empty soccer field behind his street. A man in a suit approached and asked if he was Malik. When Malik nodded, stunned, the man gestured toward the open cabin. "This is arranged for you." "For me?" Malik stared at. The man only said, "You will see." Malik climbed in, still bewildered. The helicopter lifted with a smooth rush of air, the city shrinking below him. His chest tightened as old insecurities surfaced, but beneath them pulsed something new. A strange sense of possibility. When they landed, the reunion was already underway. People stood in small clusters outside the event hall, chatting loudly. The deep thrum of the helicopter drew every eye. Heads tilted upward. Voices rose in confusion. The moment Malik stepped onto the pavement, silence swept through the crowd. A few people whispered his name. Others stared with open disbelief. They all remembered the quiet boy from school, the one they used to corner with careless jokes. Today he walked forward with steady steps. Someone at the front scoffed. "You have got to be kidding," a former classmate muttered. "He actually showed up like this." Another laughed. "Who did he borrow that from?" The comment stung, but they did not crush him. He had survived far worse. Inside the hall, the air felt warmer. Tea and music filled the space, but the conversations around him never softened. Old classmates asked questions that were really insults dressed as polite curiosity. They wanted him to confirm the story they had built in their minds. The struggling single dad barely holding things together. The class loser who had never escaped the place they left behind. He answered calmly, offering little. He saw no reason to give them his life to dissect. Then, just when he considered slipping out early, the doors opened behind him. A hush rippled through the room. Lyanna entered with a sure and gentle stride, dressed with understated grace. Her presence seemed to gather every stray light in the hall. She nodded to Malik once, as if she had simply slipped out for a moment and returned. Whispers spread fast. Who is she? She came with him? She looks important. Lyanna walked straight to his side. Her expression held quiet affection mixed with something deeper, something he had never dared to imagine someone might feel for him. I thought you might want company, she said softly. He stared at her. You arranged the helicopter? She answered with a small smile. I knew they had not earned the right to see you as you are now. But sometimes people need a little reminder. He wanted to ask why she cared so much. The question hung in his throat, but she saved him from speaking. You are a good father. You are steady. You are stronger than you think. I wanted you to walk into this place without carrying their old judgment. Her words reached a part of him that had been locked away since he was young. The rest of the evening changed. People approached with new caution. Some tried to mend old wounds with clumsy apologies. Others tried to impress him. Malik listened, but he did not bend himself to please them. For the first time, he felt in control of his own story. When the night wound down and he and Lyanna stepped outside, the air had turned cool. She looked at him with a tenderness that felt like a promise. You handled that with grace, she said. He shook his head, overwhelmed. I would never have walked in there without you. You would have, she replied. You just needed someone to remind you of your worth. They stood quietly beside the empty field as the helicopter waited. Malik realized that the reunion had not been about proving anything to his classmates. It had been about facing a part of his past he had long avoided. With Lyanna beside him, he felt something unfamiliar. Hope. He offered her his hand. She took it without hesitation. Together they stepped toward the waiting aircraft, leaving the weight of old memories behind and carrying something far brighter into the sky.